Welcome, everybody. We're here at the second day of the Powerhouse Smart Luxury Conference, and I am so excited to introduce you to this distinguished man. What a gorgeous tie. John Robert Wilkren, not only an iconic interior designer, but somebody I consider my friend. John is going to be giving us a virtual tour of a project that he did, and ironically, it happens to be his own home. What better to see than the interior designer's own home? Without further ado, John, give us the tour.
Wendy, thank you. And thank you all for joining us at this year's 5th Annual Luxury Conference, Wendy's first virtual one, and hopefully her last, right? It's no reflection on Wendy, but rather this damn virus, which continues to wreak havoc around the world. For those of you who attended last year's conference, shortly after I spoke, I came down with COVID and was hospitalized for 15 days. When I went home, an oxygen tank became my new best friend. It took several months for me to be able to walk without struggling for air and ultimately return to the swimming pool, my favorite form of exercise. And now this year's conference. You all have no idea how happy I am to be able to be here with all of you.
John, we are so blessed to have you here with us.
Wendy, thank you. Even though I retired several years ago, I had the uncontrollable urge to prove to myself that I could still produce the results worthy of an international award-winning designer. So what did I do? I made my husband totally crazy and sold our home, which was spectacular, even if I do say so myself. Here, let me show you some photos of our former residence. This was our hall of mirrors, inspired by many trips to Versailles. I had silver leaf frame mirrors made with holes in the exact spot to align with junction boxes that supplied power to the sconces. The doors in our home had a 3-panel detail with custom dyed and embossed leather set within each panel. It was a gracious and dramatic gallery that required a lot of Lindex and paper towels, which, as I tell everyone, you have to sacrifice for beauty. This was our living room. The Bruno Slurgo painting is 17.5 feet wide by 6 feet tall. When we sold this home, the buyers also bought the painting, which was great for us because our new place did not have a wall long enough to hang it on. I want you to pay attention to these images because a lot of the furniture and furnishings were recycled in our new place. I am not a cook. In fact, I wanted this space to be our dressing room, but no. Steven said we had to have a kitchen, and he got one. Originally, this was the 3rd bedroom in our apartment. The kitchen was living in the living room that I just showed you. The wall of floor-to-ceiling cabinets depicted in this photo are wrapped in the same custom dyed and embossed leather that we used on all the interior doors. The lucite breakfast table from Interior Crafts is bar height and accommodates 2 gluten bar stools. But as lovely as these spaces are, they were not the best. This was the best.
Oh my God, I would die to have that terrace.
Right? When this condo came on the market, I had been living in the building for 12 years in my Egyptian temple. Now, I'm not going to talk about this home, except to say that Playboy magazine used it for several photo shoots of naked Cleopatras. Well, that's not exactly true. One wore a beautiful gold necklace, and the other, well, she had the radio on. Of course, the guys in my office wanted to know when they were going to use it for a Mark Antony shoot, but that would be Playgirl, which is not owned by Playboy. Let's go back to the terrace. Our building manager called me one morning to inform me this condo in our building was for sale. I didn't even go look at it. I made an offer sight unseen, and to my astonishment, it was accepted. It was all about the 1,000 square feet of private outdoor space, which ran the entire length of our south-facing condo. Stephen and I planted the birch trees into 3-foot-tall planters. Thanks to the drip irrigation system and a lot of fertilizer, the trees grew like weeds. After 2 seasons, they were almost 20 feet tall. Smaller planters strategically placed around them contained colorful annuals. It was like having a home in Michigan without the commute or another roof to worry about. The garden was a labor of love and also a great way for me to work on my tan line. We entertained here a lot, so you can understand how hard it was to give this up. I worked with the developer on this who converted this building, originally the Florsheim Shoe Factory, and it was converted into lofts. I walked the building before he purchased it, reviewed all the floor plans, designed 3 models, the lobby and common areas, as well as many private residences. While installing one of the models, a salesperson overheard me saying to someone in my staff, "Wow, I could really live like this." The next thing I knew, I had purchased not 1, but 3 condos in the building. At that time, that proved to pay as well as the design work I performed for the developer. But after living there for 20 years, I knew if we didn't move when we did, we would never leave. I wanted to be closer to Lake Michigan. It had probably been 35 years since I had last walked along the beach, which was really not that far away. And I could not remember the last time I went to Navy Pier except to a few black tie functions. This is where we moved.
John, I can't believe you would move from this terrace, but it's got to be better. So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. This is an iconic Chicago landmark, the former American Furniture Mart. Since the Chicago Merchandise Mart has not yet been converted to lofts, I thought, okay, this is the next best thing. As a kid, my father used to bring me to floor covering conventions held here. While he was selling his customers on the latest and greatest in carpeting, I would roam the hallowed halls of what was the largest building in the world when it was first built. I love the Gothic architecture and scale of the ground floor interior. It goes on for 1 entire block. Sort of reminds me of a Harry Potter movie. Stephen, unfortunately, did not feel the same way. It reminds him of, yes, Rosemary's Baby. Probably because the original address was 666 Lakeshore Drive. We only looked at properties that needed to be gutted and filleted like a Lake Michigan walleye. And after schlepping our realtor through every building in the Gold Coast and Streeterville, we realized we needed ceilings that were taller than 8 feet and made of drywall, not concrete. Our art collection required a lot of recessed lights, and so our new home had to give us the ability to install them. After more than 1 year of looking, we bought 2,100 square feet with 2 good-sized bedrooms and room for our 6.5-foot round dining table. You know, after years of buying and collecting, your furniture starts to own you instead of you owning it. This condo is on the 16th floor, making it bright in the daytime with a spectacular view, particularly at night when the surrounding buildings are all lit up. When we looked at it, the 1-bedroom hallway is not nearly wide enough for that console. And look at how down the first half of the hallway it's granite, and at the end there is carpeting. But there was certainly a lot of potential. We thought that one element we could save was the existing black absolute granite floor. There was a lot of it, and I was going to add more in part of the entry where there was hardwood flooring. But after Stephen cooked in the kitchen for a week, he said the floor had to go. It showed every speck of dust, and we were not getting a live-in mate just to wash the floors 5 times a day. The combination living dining room is very gracious, but the hardwood floors were a bad imitation, and they too had to go. The primary bathroom was divided between the shower and toilet in one compartment and the vanity in another. The overall height of the cabinetry and countertop was low at 32 inches. It needed to be raised, meaning gutted, actually. And the vanity was open to anyone and everyone. It did not offer someone the ability to wake up earlier than their spouse and get cleaned up for work, or more importantly, shopping. Well, Michigan Avenue is just 3 blocks away. But between the 2 compartments, it also had lots of potential. The primary bedroom, as you can see here, was also very gracious, one of the features we really liked about this home. but no recessed lights or crown molding. So it definitely needed work.
So, John, this does not look like a small remodeling project. This is a holy moly, complete gut renovation.
You know what, Wendy, you're absolutely right. Like so many design build projects, what we first thought was going to be a relatively easy, make it pretty project turned into a much bigger job. Big surprise, right? It doesn't just happen to our clients, it happens to us too. More money went into the mechanics behind the wall than the finishes you see. It needed all new electric service, a new panel conduit, and recessed light fixtures, a new air handler. We were moving its location, so why not get a new one at the same time, right?
Of course, why not?
It also needed new floors. Here you can see our new floor. We liked these 2x2 porcelain tiles from Italy. You can spill red wine all over them and they will never stain.
Wow.
Also, right? I know, big wow. Also, the white background breathes life into the space, makes it appear larger by reflecting both the natural daylight and the installed lighting.
John, this looks like a completely different home.
With the right designer, it should, right? Closets, you know, Wendy, that I am a closet freak. There has to be a place for everything.
All your shoes, John? Oh my gosh.
No, these are not all mine. Actually, most of them are Stephen's. I know that's hard to believe, but it's true. But the suits all belong to me, and everything in the long bank of drawers is also mine, all mine.
Love the carpet contrast there.
Yeah, right. The carpet was a big deal to us. We're really happy with it. The original coat closet was opposite the powder room and less than 3 feet wide. I mean, you can see in this finished photography here that 3 feet would just not work for us. We needed a large walk-in closet just for our coats, even though we got rid of quite a few before our move.
I'd say that's some walk-in lobby closet there. Wow.
Then, we also needed new copper plumbing lines from the vertical risers to the fixture locations in the vanities and showers, new shut-off valves, exhaust fans. In both bathrooms, we raised the ceilings 18 inches to make them feel twice as big. In the primary bathroom, I designed it with one sink instead of two. I feel the extra countertop space is more valuable than a second bowl. Also, a single bowl allows more drawers in the vanity, providing better storage. Look at all the different sources of light there are in this space. The backlit mirror, there are 10 recessed lights in the ceiling, plus the LED lighting in the ceiling alcove and the horizontal insert that runs across the width of the shower. Good lighting everywhere is so important.
This is like being at the finest resort you could ever be. Truly a lap of luxury, John.
Thank you for saying that, because we certainly feel that way. In the guest bathroom, the center section of the vanity is a door. It's not 4 more drawers. There is a pull-out tray at the bottom of this cabinet and every base cabinet in our home. We're getting too old to get on our hands and knees to see what's at the back of the base cabinet. All 4 walls in this bathroom are clad in either travertine, which is iconic to this building, or the marble mosaic. One of the girls that worked for me for years convinced me of that, and I totally agree. Something totally unexpected. My stepfather comes over not to visit us, but just so he can use this powder room.
I'm sure. It's crazy. It's gorgeous.
Plus, we had to move some walls around to make the space more symmetrical. Some people may not have spent money on that detail, but subconsciously, it makes all the difference. A home feels more organized when walls and doors align. And of course, we needed a new kitchen. I'm going to let Stephen tell you about that.
Good morning. How are you?
We're fantastic. We're so happy to have you here. You're an integral part of this since you technically are the client. So tell us about the kitchen.
Well, thank you very much. We're going to give you a little look into our kitchen. I mean, a little look as the WGN cameramen were busy. So this is all we have. So as some internationally award-winning designers feel that a kitchen is not a requirement, fortunately 99.99% of us do. So we did get a kitchen. You'll see that for me, the most important thing is minimalism. I don't like anything on the countertops. I think everything should have a place and be in its place. So our kitchen is very neat and clean. One of my favorite features in the home is our floor, the beautiful polished porcelain. And you can see we loved it so much, we decided to go right up the walls and include it as our backsplash. Cabinets were chosen colors, muted colors that go along with that backsplash and flooring. So you see the bottom in a nice lighter brown and then the top in a more polished lacquer finish. A very interesting story about the cabinets. We had chosen to work with a Chinese cabinet maker early in December before COVID-19 became a household word. In fact, one of our design team members was stuck in Wuhan and could not return long before most of us knew where Wuhan was. At a time when people were not wanting to even invite family members to their homes, we had to make the decision, do we allow workmen, and especially workmen that have had contact from people that were at the epicenter of the infection. That being said, our kitchen turned out great, and we think they did a wonderful job for us. Wendy, as you can see, I like organization. So some of the cabinets have unique features that make it very nice. Corner cabinets are often very, very unuseful because you can't reach anything in them. So they had this very nice design where you could pull the cabinetry all the way out and slide it easily back in. So we made use of every bit of space in the kitchen that way. Appliances were another big thing. We decided to go with all Bosch appliances. And I was concerned when we moved here that this is an all-electric building and I love cooking on gas. After having cooked on an induction cooktop range, I will tell you I'll never want to go back. Instantly hot, instantly cool, and as you can see, the top is as smooth as the countertop, so there's no places for dirt and grime to get into, and for a person who loves cleanliness, that is an absolute must. Want to just twist a little bit here to show you that we do have an awful lot of storage. Here we have a nice walk-in pantry with pullouts. That is very nicely closed off behind the door so guests don't have to see that, but a wonderful place to store all kinds of bigger items that you don't use every day. And then one last portion of the kitchen, I'll turn around a television here, you can see that. Storage, again, lots of countertop storage, very high countertop that we can put serving plates and drinks on, as well as where do we put the TV? For somebody who has a lot of artwork, this is a very big discussion. Where does the TV go? So it is on an articulating arm, and it does pull out so that we can watch TV in the living room, in the breakfast room, and while I'm cooking in the kitchen. So despite the fact that my award-winning designer husband did not want to have a kitchen, we got a pretty good kitchen. You'll see this item up above is a chandelier that's in the cutout that was here, and that was cut down, and we brought it with us from our old home, so we were able to bring something old and put it in with everything new.
Here, let me introduce Peter Yaksh, and he can tell you a little bit more about the great work that he and his team did here at 680 Lakeshore Drive.
So what was the hardest part about this particular project, it being John and Stephen's own home?
Well, I would say the hardest part was probably the whole flooring, because these tiles are really big and we have to run it through the whole place, almost the whole place. So make it straight and look nice and even, and like make sure every corner looks really good. That was probably the hardest part. It took like almost 3 weeks plus to lay this floor in this apartment.
I'm proud to introduce Frank Botello.
Hi, how's it going? My name is Frank Botello. I was interior design associate at former John Robert Wilkin Design. That's how I met John. Wonderful man with many great talents. Worked with him until he retired, but still kept in contact with John throughout the years, and still continue to keep in contact with John and Stephen. John approached me because he was selling his former residence and was looking to buy into a new property, and asked if I can help him move this project along. It started off with, the drawings, of course, for his place. And like John said, yeah, there was a lot of changes in the drawings. We would go through multiple sets, maybe a day, so that everything was perfect and right for the contractor, Peter, to begin his work.
John, that was truly stunning. And there are you could literally have taken an hour, and I know we only had 20 minutes here. The incredible details and after the awesome construction, just the finishing touches with your furnishings and your art and everything, just truly spectacular. Congratulations to all of you. Unbelievable. So now introduce us to Helen and Oliver.
Okay, well, I'd like to say that we were anxious to call upon Helen Yeager-Roth, who worked with the developers that converted 666 Lakeshore Drive back in the 80s. I'm going to let her and her partner, Oliver Levy, tell you a little bit more about themselves, the building, and our listing.
Hello, well, thank you very much for having us on. I'm Oliver Levy, and
I'm Helen Yeager-Roth. And we are very excited to be involved in this beautiful, beautiful home and to get the opportunity to sell it for John and Stephen. We're sorry to see them leaving to go to Palm Springs. I've known John for a very long time, over many, many years, of many projects that I've been able to visit and from time to time have sold. I've been in the Gold Coast Streeterville neighborhood and been working on projects for a very long time in homes and been very blessed to be also involved in 680 Lakeshore, the conversion of it, actually the reconversion of it, because it was done in the early 80s, this adaptive use of an incredible space, probably one of the best adaptive uses in the world, and really shows you what a big empty building can turn into and be a beautiful home to live in. In the late 80s, 1989, I get a call from Gene Golub saying, do you want to come and help me do a marketing of the reconversion of 666, which we changed the address to 680 because of the Playboy chance to get them as a 200,000 square foot tenant in the office space. And they didn't want to move in. That was their priority, that they not have that 666 connotation. So that's how it became. Sure, you want 680, we'll change it to 680. We want you as a tenant. But I got to work on the condominiums. There are 3 different associations in the building, the lake, the tower, and the south. And we did new models. We really kind of reintroduced the building to the area. There wasn't very much around 680 at the time, but we were very successful. And the south and the lake, we resold, completely sold it out within 6 months. So it was very successful. And then the tower was done, actually turned into an auction, but the prices were kept consistently good for that market at that time in history. So it was exciting to come and from time to time get listings and sell. But this is kind of a special apartment within the building because John and Stephen have really the attention to detail, the beauty. It is a wow factor, but it's elegant and inviting and spacious. And Oliver and I are very excited about getting the chance to work on it. So thank you both.
Thank you. Thank you for the history on the building. I mean, Chicago has so much architectural history and there's so many unique buildings, and this one is certainly one of the finest. So we really appreciate that. We're going to go back to the gallery view, and John, and I think the rest of our collaborators, thank you again for joining us. We'll allow you to go ahead and turn off your video for a second, but please stay on. And we're going to end with John, and I'm just going to ask you a question, John. I'm going to pin you, and I'm going to say, what are you most proud of in this project and in this lifetime?
Okay, well, we need another hour to talk about that, Wendy. It's a loaded question. In our home here at 680, there are so many custom details that I'm proud of. Refining the layout, certainly the powder room, and a lot of built-ins provide a place for everything. They made the overall design function so it could also look dramatic yet inviting. However, I feel like the lighting is the most important and my greatest achievement. The combination of 85 recessed lights, backlit mirrors, under the cabinet lighting, concealed architectural lighting, and decorative fixtures provide proper illumination for daily tasks, as well as create a variety of different moods. For someone like myself who is legally blind, I need all the lights on with full brightness. But Stephen, he can see perfectly well and dims every fixture as he follows behind me in the rooms that we happen to hang out in.
Amazing. You know what? You are truly such a special soul, and we are so blessed to have had this tour with you today. I cannot wait to see your Palm Springs home, because it never, the creativity has to flow from you. That's just who you are. So thank you again. And I wish you love, health, happiness, and look what you accomplished, an award-winning home, your own home during COVID. What a miracle, right?
Thank you. We're looking forward to being your neighbor out there.
Yeah, we're coming. We're going to be there. I can't wait for Stephen to make us. Well, I'll help Stephen in the kitchen. Thank you again. Love to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Blessing.
Bye-bye.